what keeps me grounded is the kind of family I was raised. I have a very great family in Uganda, very cultural, respected. So they kind of humble me down and remind me of where I come from.
Yeah.
So it's not like as if I'm just like some crazy chick that comes from Denmark
Yeah.
and pawns the replay up
Yeah.
in this place.
No, you've been here since you were how old?
Yeah.
This is home.
So I went to a respectful school. I was raised by a respectful Ugandan family, and half of it is Muslim. Actually, the Ugandan side, they're all Muslim, and my dad's side, they're Christian. So they're very respectful family. They're a great family, always together. You know, doing gatherings, Christmas, Eid, all that. So it keeps you grounded, and you always know that someone's got your back.
Yeah.
So you don't have to rely on this industry. All you need is your family and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How has dating been? I mean, as a single mother.
I have been not in a serious relationship until I met Liam's father, my son.
Yeah, yeah.
And we dated for a year, but that's the thing, it was a phase. And for me, that was like my first ever serious relationship. So I think that is why I also became like kind of like comfortable with him, so comfortable. And if you know him, he was like one of those guys straight away from the US. He had like an accent, he had the vibe, and he was staying just down the road from where I was. And we just like, we connected, and we became good friends, and that's why we're still friends.
Okay.
And that ended immediately after I gave birth to Liam.
Okay.
In fact, even before, because we weren't in love.
Okay.
But we had a connection. And then I just became a single mother for a long time. And then I met somebody, a very interesting guy. He's a Belgian living in Uganda.
Oh, okay.
So he's lived even in Uganda longer than I have. So for him, he's a proper muyai. You know those bazungus where like they even go get Luganda. So he went to ISU, I went to Taiba. He was living in Entebbe, and we met at a restaurant where he was the manager of Ujo.
Okay.
And I was on a date, actually. I think I was on a date, I wasn't sure, yeah. No, it was just like a drink date, not like a dinner date.
Okay.
So, and then I met him, and we exchanged numbers, and then I started going to Entebbe a lot, and 6 years later, we're still dating.
6 years?
6 years.
That's a long time.
6 years, we've been on and off.
Oh.
It has been a very interesting 6 years on and off. So, to be honest with you, when it comes to my dating life, those are the only, like, pretty much 2 guys I've ever dated. You can't count the high school ones.
Yeah, no.
You really can't. So I've only dated 2 guys in my life. And yeah, so this guy he's still with me. He's in Belgium right now. He owned a bar called DNA Lounge, which did really well until recently sold it.
Okay.
And we also had an incident once where that bar also gave us issues.
Okay.
Where we had a robbery at our home.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was so bad. So he made a mistake of bringing money to our house. And it was a lot of money. And it was only like about certain amount of people that knew that money was in our house, in our bedroom. And they didn't know exactly where we hid it in the bedroom. We had a safe. So the whole thing happened around 3 in the morning. It was raining. He just came back like an hour before back home, so it's like as if they were waiting for him.
Yeah.
And they broke into the house. My grandmother was there, my son was there, and it was so scary. I think there were 5 men, but I believe there were more. It was only the 5 that were in my room, but I could hear more at the gate, at the door, you know, others looking from the other rooms. So they weren't really searching, in the other bedrooms. They left
knew
my
exactly
grandmother
where to
and my
go.
son alone.
Oh, thank God.
So they came straight to our room. So that's why they attacked us. So they attacked more of him. They beat him up, broke his skull here in the front.
Oh,
It was quite a
no.
serious situation. I was put in the corner and beat up a bit. And they just turned my whole bedroom inside out. They couldn't find it.
They couldn't find the safe.
5 minutes, it felt like 30 minutes or an hour, but it was like 15 minutes or less. And then they disappeared. And they took the TVs, but we found the TVs in the morning on the ground, I think, because they realized it kind of looked weird, robbing, at that time in the morning. And then they took our phones. So they didn't take anything else, pretty much. They took our phones.
So they pretty much
so
knew
that
what
was
they were looking for.
They knew. So they even tried to threaten me with my son. They're like, we have your son, we're going to kill him right now, tell us where the money is. And I kept shouting his name. So me not hearing his name kind of like told me just to keep quiet, because I knew if they had the money, because it was a huge amount of money, if they had that money, we were gonna be killed. I didn't know what was gonna happen, because someone who takes that amount of money kind of gets scared. They're like, I do not want to be found after this, and we could see their faces.
Yeah, they weren't hiding.
They weren't hiding, but being traumatized, I cannot even remember their faces right now.
Yeah.
But if anything had happened worse than that, I think I would have remembered or cared more about what happened. But we just tried to forget about the whole situation. We fixed everything, the windows, we cleaned up everything, the blood, because Max lost a lot of blood from the skull damage. Went to the hospital, and yeah, that kind of also broke up our relationship after that, because I felt like he had brought harm into my home.
Yeah. And
So
put
we
your
broke
son
up.
and your grandmother in
Exactly.
danger.
So we broke up for 3 months. It was the worst 3 months of my life. It was very confusing, and so much was happening. And that's when I just also joined working for Speak Apartments. So I think I focused more on work. But yeah, I was very heartbroken, because I'd been with a man of my life for like, 5 years by then. So it was quite hard.
Okay.
So it was just recent till we got
You
back
got
together.
back together.
And things are okay for now.
Okay. Well, I do hope things
Do hope.
settle down.
It's not easy.
That's a very traumatic experience.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Does your son remember?
he was asleep. Thank God, he was asleep.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm sure you've beefed up the security.
Yes, I did actually. Immediately after that, we couldn't sleep without a security guard. So I got a company immediately after that. Till now.
Okay.
Yeah, even if things are settled down, people can see we're now simple people. We're in borders. We don't have money. The money wasn't even ours.
Just putting that out there.
Yo, hey,
But yeah, that's
they be coming
terrifying.
for me, man.
Well, my dear, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you too,
It's been
Chris.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. I
Uh-huh.
thought this was going to be hard, but it was fun.